Today is March 31st, 2025. 40 years ago today was Wrestlemania 1. So let's celebrate the anniversary of the first Wrestlemania with WWE 2K25. 40 years ago, it was at 1 p.m. Eastern at Madison Square Garden in 1985. And the main event was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. So I created Mr. T and created Paul Orndorff and Hogan and Piper in the game. So let's enjoy the match. This is the main event at WrestleMania 1, 40 years ago today. And celebrate the historic event as WrestleMania 41 is a couple weeks away, but the 40-year anniversary of WrestleMania. So we'll start out here. And the Mr. T I found, he wore like red tights at WrestleMania 1, so that's not accurate. I couldn't find a Mr. T accurate to WrestleMania 1. But it'll do. They got Paul Orndorff. Paul Orndorff actually was a bad guy going in and actually left a good guy. He was sort of turning into a good guy at WrestleMania 1. And of course Hogan was the champ, and I guess it ran around 3 hours or so. It was 1 o'clock Eastern. I guess it was on at 10 a.m. Pacific that day. So it was actually in the morning if you're in the West Coast. But it was the earliest. It was the earliest starting WrestleMania because then they had moved them to 4 o'clock and stuff Eastern and 1 o'clock. After that, although the WrestleMania 2 was on a Monday night, but then WrestleMania 3 was at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific after that. But when they first started, the first WrestleMania was 1 in the afternoon to start. Andre the Giant fought Big John Studd at it, and I'm just going to do the main event here. Then they had King Kong Bundy with the 9-second match over S.D. Jones, and Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov against the U.S. Express, and Junkyard Dog vs. Greg Valentine. It was I think it was a 9-match card. I'm trying to remember, but it's a historic in that it was the first one. And 40 years ago today, figured I'd do a little video celebrating the 40th anniversary of the first WrestleMania. And me and Mr. T, they had I think Hogan and Mr. T had actually hosted Saturday Night Live the night before. So they probably didn't get much sleep because they were up. They had to be at the Garden at 1 o'clock actually their match probably was after 3. But they had the show started at 1. They Saturday Night Live ended at 1 in the morning, and then they had the WrestleMania was 12 hours later. And I didn't get all the Jimmy Snuka and Cowboy Bob Orton were out. Cowboy Bob Orton was in the corner of Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. I didn't get all that set up. I just wanted to get the main participants. And Jimmy Snuka was in the corner of Hogan and Mr. T. And then Muhammad Ali was one of the referees. Pat Patterson was one of the referees. And they had Billy Martin was the ring announcer. Liberace was the timekeeper. It was a big. I didn't want to get all those. Actually, I don't think they're all created yet on 2K25. So to do all that, I could have put. I could at least put Cowboy Bob and Jimmy Snuka at ringside, but I just did the main participants in the match. Because you can't. I couldn't make the. You can't they needed to create a referee to this game, so I could have made Muhammad Ali the referee and the whole thing. Because I think the guest referee is only for one-on-one matches, so you can't do it with tag teams. Although Pat Patterson was actually Muhammad Ali was the outside referee. But I just like I said, I just put the main participants in so I could simulate the match. The actual match, Hulk Hogan pinned Paul Orndorff to win the match. And it's on Peacock, the original WrestleMania. If you've never seen it, wasn't the greatest WrestleMania ever, but it's the first WrestleMania, so it was significant, and it had some good stuff on it. I like the Andre the Giant, Big John Studd match, and I like the main event, and I like the nice backdrop. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov against the U.S. Express. There's some good stuff on it. I'm trying to remember the other matches. I forget. I think it was it David Sammartino against Brutus Beefcake? Was that the other match? I'm trying to remember. I think Bruno Sammartino was involved. Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura called it. Which actually Gorilla and Jesse called the first 6. But it's a historic in WWE history. So it's a day to celebrate the WrestleMania is still here 40 years later, and it's become a massive event because now they do it in big stadiums. The Garden, they had the amount of 20,000 people. I don't know what the exact total was, but now they get every year they get the WrestleManias. They got 50,000 or more. So it's much bigger as far as the crowds go now. They actually had WrestleMania 10, and every 10 years they were having WrestleMania at the Garden. They stopped at 30, but WrestleMania 10 and 20 were at the Garden as well to celebrate the 10th anniversary of WrestleMania and the 20th. Actually, the WrestleMania 11 would have been the 10th anniversary because the WrestleMania 41 is the 40th around the 40th anniversary. But yeah, March the 31st, 1985, about 1 o'clock was the bell time. Eastern. At the Garden, it was 1 o'clock. It's like I said, if you're watching in the West Coast, it was 10 a.m. And if you're watching in, I don't know if you're watching in, like I said, when you're watching in in London, it was I guess it was 6 o'clock, I think. And that was more at night, but it was I enjoyed the main event. Then my favorite WrestleMania is still WrestleMania 3, but one was good. It wasn't great. I would like to actually the main event I thought was going to be I would like to have seen Hogan and Piper 1-on-1 for the main event for the world title, but they went with the tag team. I think Piper didn't want to lose, so they went with the tag team match because he didn't want to lose to Hogan. I think that's what I heard, but I'm not sure what's true. Nice knee lift by Hogan. But this is created Paul Orndorff, but Paul Orndorff is actually coming in November with the Saturday Night's Main Event pack. So I'll delete this Paul Orndorff and replace it with the in-game one when he comes out in November. But that's many months away, so I needed a Paul Orndorff to hold me over. So I got this Paul Orndorff. It's pretty good. He'll do for now until I get the official Paul Orndorff in the game. But yeah, WrestleMania 1 was a big deal at the time. And who knew that we'd be at 41? It would last that long, but it did. And then the second pay-per-view. Yeah, the WrestleMania 1, 2, 3 happened. Then Survivor Series was actually the second big pay-per-view that WWE created, because that came in '87 after WrestleMania 3, and then SummerSlam came in '88 after WrestleMania 4. So, but there was 3 WrestleManias before the Survivor Series and other pay-per-views started happening. They had one pay-per-view a year for the first 3 years there of any significance. They had other events they had the big event and they had the wrestling classic and stuff like that. But the big pay-per-views we know today, there was really just WrestleMania for the first for the first 3 years before they added a second pay-per-view. Then in '88 they added the Royal Rumble and SummerSlam. And then they went to, and that's the big 4. But yeah, if you weren't born yet, WrestleMania 1 is a little history about WrestleMania 1. And if you remember it 40 years ago, it's kind of a just kind of remembering that day. They were on closed circuit TV. I think there was very, very little pay-per-view in like cities. So their pay-per-view was very, very young at the time, but most people went and saw it on closed circuit TV that day at local movie theaters and arenas and I think colleges, and that's where people went to see it for the most part. If you weren't at the Garden. And then WrestleMania 2 was like the pay-per-view didn't really get going to WrestleMania 3. Because I think there was a lot of closed circuit for WrestleMania 2 as well. But today's the number 40 for the first WrestleMania. But yeah, a lot of the current roster wasn't even born yet when WrestleMania 1 happened. Most there's very, very few that are they're either younger than 40. They weren't born yet, or they were like 1 or 2 years old. Most of them. Like John Cena was. John Cena was probably 7 or 8 or something like that, but a lot of them weren't born yet because most of the roster is under 40. So the current WWE roster is I think Randy, any wrestlers over 40s, there's a few of them that are. I think AJ Styles was born, but like I said, they were probably too young to even watch and understand WrestleMania 1 if they were born yet. All right, so we got a. I don't know what just happened there, but that was Did he just disqualify for them being in the ring? Yeah, that was an odd ending. I don't know was that a glitch? I don't know what just happened there. But anyway, this is not about the match. It was about the celebration of the anniversary of WrestleMania. Just showing the main event. Didn't matter who won. So hopefully you enjoyed this little WrestleMania flashback on the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania 1, and I'll see you another time.